The screech of tires still echoed in my skull like a banshee's wail. The rain-slicked Seattle streets, turning my world into a blur of shattered glass and screaming sirens. 1 second, I was weaving through downtown traffic, late for another soul-crushing shift at the coffee shop, cursing the downpour that matched the storm in my chest. The next, a delivery truck barreled through the red light, slamming into my beat-up Honda with the force of fate's cruel joke. As the paramedics yanked open the crumpled door, their voices sharp and urgent, I tasted blood and regret, wondering if this was how it ended. For a guy like me, 28 and still hiding who I really was from everyone, including myself. "Stay still," the paramedic commanded, his voice cutting through the haze like a lifeline tossed into choppy waters. His face hovered close, those hazel eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that made my pulse spike harder than the crash itself. He was black, broad-shouldered under his soaked Navy uniform, rain dripping from his close-cropped hair, and in that split second, as his gloved hand pressed firm against my chest to check for broken ribs, something shifted. A spark, electric and terrifying, that whispered promises I never dared dream. But then his hand slid lower, deliberate yet clinical, tracing the edge of my torn flannel to assess the gash along my side. The touch lingered just a beat too long, his fingers brushing skin that hadn't felt another man's warmth since that fumbling college hookup I'd buried deep. My breath hitched, the world narrowing to that point of contact. And in his gaze, I saw it mirrored, a flicker of recognition, of shared secrets in a city that pretended to embrace us all but still judged from the shadows. That slide of his hand didn't just check for injury. It cracked open the cage I'd built around my heart, shaking loose every doubt, every fear, and igniting a fire that would burn through the lies I'd told myself for years. I blacked out again after that, the morphine haze pulling me under like a riptide. When I surfaced, it was in the sterile glow of Harborview Medical Center's ER, the beep of monitors a grim symphony to my pounding headache. Nurses bustled around, their voices a muffled drone, but my mind replayed that moment on loop. The paramedic's touch, his name stitched on his patch. Jordan Hale. Why did it feel like destiny had rear-ended my life, not to end it, but to rewrite it? Discharge came too soon, or maybe not soon enough. The doctor rattled off the usual. Cracked ribs, a mild concussion, stitches that itched like regret. "Take it easy, Mr. Rivera," she said, her clipboard shield. "And call if the pain worsens." Alex Rivera, first-generation Mexican-American kid from Tacoma, scraping by in Seattle's relentless grind, pouring lattes for tech bros who never saw me. Not really. My family back home thought I was straight as the I-5, dating that nice girl from church, a fiction I'd spun to keep the peace. But nights alone in my cramped Capitol Hill apartment, scrolling Grindr in incognito mode, I knew the truth. I was gay, terrified, and starving for connection. Limping out into the drizzly afternoon, my side throbbing with every step, I clutched the ER's discharge papers like a talisman. The city hummed around me, ferry horns from Elliott Bay, the distant rumble of the monorail, but I felt unmoored, adrift in a sea of what-ifs. That's when I saw him again. Jordan, leaning against an ambulance in the bay, chart in hand, laughing with a colleague about some close call. His smile transformed his face, softening the sharp angles, revealing dimples that hit me like a second collision. Our eyes met across the asphalt, and he straightened, that same spark flaring. "Hey," he called, jogging over with an easy grace that belied his size. Up close, without the chaos, he was even more striking. Faint scar on his jaw, cologne cutting through the antiseptic air, a warmth in his voice that wrapped around me. "You're the guy from the wreck. Alex, right? How you holding up?" I swallowed, my throat dry as sawdust. Like I got hit by a truck. Which, yeah, lame, but it drew a chuckle from him, low and genuine, easing the knot in my chest. "Jordan Hale," he said, extending a hand. His grip was firm, callous from years of saving lives, and I swear electricity arced between us. "Glad you're in one piece." That was a nasty one. We talked then, right there in the shadow of the hospital, rain pattering on the awning above. He asked about the crash, routine, he said, but his eyes searched mine deeper. I deflected with humor, the armor I wore so well, but he peeled it back effortlessly, sharing how he'd moved to Seattle from Atlanta 5 years ago, chasing a fresh start after his own wreckage. A bad breakup, the kind that leaves you questioning everything. "Paramedic life's a rush," he admitted, "but it's the quiet saves, the ones where you connect. Those stick. Connect." The word hung between us, heavy with subtext. I wanted to spill it all, the isolation, the Grindr ghosts, the family dinners where I smiled through the ache, but fear clamped my jaw. Instead, I mumbled thanks and turned to go, but he stopped me with a card. "My shift ends at 8. Coffee? My treat. To make sure you're not concussed." It was a lifeline disguised as casual. I took it, fingers brushing his, and walked away with my heart hammering, the city suddenly alive with possibility. That night, as thunder rolled over the Olympics, I paced my apartment, the card burning a hole in my pocket. Capitol Hill, buzz below, queer bars spilling laughter in the streets, rainbow flags limp in the wet. But I'd never crossed that threshold, not fully. My phone lit up with a text from my sister Maria. Heard about the crash, Hermanito. Mom's praying extra novenas. Call her. Guilt twisted like a knife. They'd never understand. Not in our tight-knit Tacoma world where machismo ruled and love like mine was whispered sin. 8 o'clock came, and I found myself at Analog Coffee, tucked in a corner booth, nursing a black Americano that did nothing for my nerves. Jordan arrived 10 minutes late, shaking off rain like a golden retriever, his off-duty jeans and hoodie making him look younger, approachable. Traffic, he grinned, sliding it across for me. But worth it. We talked for hours, the cafe emptying around us. He was 32, ex-military medic from Georgia. Honorable discharge after a tour in Afghanistan that left scars deeper than skin. Save lives over there, he said quietly, tracing the rim of his mug. But coming out stateside? That's the real battlefield. The words landed soft, but they detonated in me. He was out, proud, even volunteering at the local LGBT center, mentoring kids like the one I'd been, scared, silenced. I shared fragments. The crash is metaphor for my stalled life. The coffee shop grind, funding night classes in graphic design, dreams of illustrating queer stories that mirrored my own unspoken ones. His laugh was a balm, his questions a mirror reflecting back the man I could be. When our knees brushed under the table, neither pulled away. The air thickened, charged with the unspoken invitation. Walk you home, he offered as we stepped into the cooling night, street lamps casting halos on wet pavement. My place was blocks away, through Pike Place's lingering market smells and the hum of late-night revelers. We strolled in companionable silence at first, then deeper, his hand grazing mine, testing. I didn't flinch. At my door, under the buzz of the entry light, he leaned in, breath warm against my ear. This okay? It was more than okay. His lips met mine, tentative, then fierce, tasting of coffee and courage. The kiss unlocked something primal, my hands fisting his hoodie, pulling him closer as rain started again, soft and forgiving. We broke apart, gasping, foreheads touching, and in that moment, the world righted itself. No more hiding, just us raw and real. But life doesn't script itself so neatly. The next morning, sunlight slanting through my blinds, Jordan's arm draped heavy across my waist, I woke to my phone exploding. Missed calls from Maria, a voicemail from Mom, laced with worry. Alex, Mijo, the hospital called. Your insurance lapsed. How will we pay? Panic surged. I let the policy slide to cover rent, figuring I was invincible. Now, the bill loomed like a guillotine, threatening to drag my secret into the open if I asked family for help. Jordan stirred, his voice husky with sleep. Everything all right? I forced a smile, but he saw through it, propping on an elbow, concern etching his brow. Over breakfast, burnt toast, and shared stories. He listened as I confessed the mess, his hand steady on mine. We'll figure it, he said simply. Together. That together was a promise, but reality crashed in waves. At work that afternoon, my boss, a harried woman named Trish, pulled me aside. Heard about the accident, kid. Take the week, but bills gotta get paid. No shifts means no pay. Limping home, side aching, I dodged Maria's texts, the weight of it all pressing down. Jordan met me with takeout from Soul Food Spot near his place in the Central District, his smile a beacon. Talk to me, he urged, as we ate cross-legged on my floor. I did, the words tumbling. The immigrant parents who'd fled cartel violence for Tacoma's steel mills, sacrificing everything so I could chase the American dream. College dropout, barista by day, dreamer by night. They think I'm straight, Jordan, engaged even, if they knew. About this, about you. Tears pricked, hot, and unbidden. He pulled me close, his embrace a fortress. Love isn't a debt, Alex. It's a gift, and you're worth every fight. That night, we made love slow and deliberate, bodies mapping uncharted territories, his touch erasing doubts with every whisper. For the first time, I felt seen, truly, wholly, as the man I'd always been inside. Days blurred into a tentative rhythm. Stolen mornings tangled in sheets, evenings walking the waterfront, hands linked defiantly. Jordan introduced me to his world, the LGBT Center's game nights, where queer folks of every hue swapped stories under fairy lights, a tapestry of resilience that mended my frayed edges. This is Kai, he said one night, nodding to a trans kid sketching in the corner. Reminds me of you. Talent bottled up, waiting to pour out, but shadows loomed. The hospital bill arrived, $5,000, a number that mocked my bank balance. Upon my laptop, the one holding half-finished illustrations of lovers defying odds, but it barely dented the debt. Desperation clawed. Call home? Confess? Everything? Or bury it deeper? Risk losing Jordan to my cowardice? The breaking point came midweek, a call from the ER billing office. Mr. Rivera, payment due, or we escalate. Heart slamming. I confessed to Jordan over foe in the International District, steam rising like unspoken fears. His face hardened, not in anger, but resolve. I got savings from the Army. Let me. No, I cut him off, pride flaring. I won't be your charity case. The words hung toxic, his eyes flashing hurt. It's not charity, Alex. It's us. We argued then, voices rising in my tiny kitchen, the first fracture in our fragile new world. You think I don't get it? He shot back. I hid for years too. Unit in Afghanistan, bunkmates who'd kill if they knew. Coming out cost me friends. Family back home still pretends I don't exist. But love? It's worth the wreckage. His vulnerability cracked me open, and I collapsed into him, apologies dissolving into kisses. We paid half that night, his card swiping with a finality that bound us tighter. But as we lay spent, his head on my chest, doubt whispered, could I really build this life, or will my past drag us under? The weekend brought fragile peace. A road trip to Olympic National Park, Jordan's idea to breathe. We drove his old Jeep through misty highways, whole rainforest enveloping us in emerald hush, ferns whispering secrets. Hiking the trails, his hand in mine, I felt free, laughing as he pointed out mossy nurse logs. Like us, deadwood birthing new life. At Sol Duc Hot Springs, we soaked under star-pricked skies, bodies buoyant, sharing dreams. Him eyeing PA school, me pitching queer graphic novels to indie presses. But on the drive back, my phone buzzed insistent. Mom. Alex, we're coming up. Maria says you're hurt bad. Sunday dinner, no excuses. Panic iced my veins. My family, stoic dad with his mill-calloused hands. Mom's rosary beads clicking like judgment. Invading Seattle, my sanctuary. Jordan squeezed my thigh. Tell them, or let me help you. But fear rooted deep, a weed I'd let choke me too long. Sunday dawned gray, the apartment smelling of carnitas simmering. Mom's recipe, my feeble peace offering. Jordan slipped out early, respecting the charade, but his kiss lingered like a talisman. They arrived at noon, hugs tight, Mom's eyes scanning for lies. Mijo, you look thin. And this place, too small for a man your age. Dinner was a minefield. Dad grumbling about Mariners' losses. Maria probing my girlfriend's status with sly grins. I deflected, sweat beading, until Mom's hand on mine turned the tide. We worry, Alex. Life's hard enough without secrets. The word pierced. Heart thundering, I set down my fork. I have one. A big one. The room stilled, forks hovering. I'm gay, Mom. Dad. And I'm in love with a man named Jordan. Silence stretched eternal. Then Maria's gasp, Dad's chair scraping. Mom's tears came first, not rejection but sorrow. Why hi, Mijo. We love you. Dad cleared his throat, voice gruff. As long as he treats you right. That's all. Relief crashed, sobs racking me as they pulled me close, family fracturing and reforming in one breath. We talked till dusk, my fears, their own hidden pains. Dad's brother lost to AIDS in the 80s, unspoken grief. We should have said, Mom whispered. But now we do. Jordan returned later, tentative, but met with handshakes and wary smiles. As night fell, my family gone but bonds mended. We stood on the balcony, city lights winking approval. You did it, he murmured, arms around me. Not alone, I replied, turning to kiss him, the world vast and welcoming. Months unfurled like hope's petals. The bill cleared, my illustrations sold to a small queer press. Tales of paramedics and baristas finding light in wreckage. Jordan aced his PA entrance, and we moved into a sunny Central District flat, walls echoing with laughter and late-night confessions. One rainy evening, a year post-crash, he knelt amid takeout boxes, ring glinting. You shook my world first, Alex. Marry me. Tears blurred, yes tumbling out. In that moment, I knew. Love isn't still. It's the hand that slides lower, bolder, rewriting every scar into story. And ours? It was just beginning, a testament to the courage in staying, in shaking free. The wedding was small, intimate, a rooftop affair in Capitol Hill under a canopy strung with Edison bulbs, the Space Needle piercing the twilight like a promise kept. Maria walked me down the aisle, her arm linked in mine, eyes misty with the pride she'd bottled for years. Mom fussed over the tamales. Dad clapped Jordan on the back with a gruff, welcome, son, the words he practiced in the mirror. Friend from his center filled the space. Kai, now a budding artist, sketching our vows. Trish from the coffee shop, toasting with a latte in hand. Jordan stood at the altar in a sharp gray suit, his smile that same electric spark from the ambulance, but now etched with forever. I do, we echoed, rings sliding cool and sure, sealing the chaos into commitment. The kiss drew cheers, rain holding off just long enough for us to dance under the stars, his hand at my waist guiding me like that first touch, steady, seismic. But bliss, I've learned, is paramedic work, constant vigilance against relapse. Work ramped up for both. Jordan's rotations stretching into dawn, my deadlines blurring days into nights. We'd collapse together, bodies sinking like puzzle pieces, but whispers of strain crept in. Miss you, he'd murmur into my neck, and I'd pull him closer, chasing the high of our beginning. Then came the call that tested us. A house fire in the Central District, Jordan's team first on scene. I paced our kitchen, phone glued to ear, as dispatch relayed fragments. Smoke inhalation, a kid trapped. Hours later, he stumbled in, soot-streaked, eyes hollow. Got her out, he rasped, collapsing into my arms. But the cough lingered, deep and wet, a shadow I couldn't shake. Doctor visits blurred. Pneumonia, they said treatable. But lying in the ER, irony biting as I stroke his hair, I saw our fragility. Don't leave me, I whispered, fear's raw edge slicing through. He squeezed my hand, weak but fierce. Never. We're in this wreck together. Recovery was slow, a mirror to my own mending. Nights of broth and bad TV. Me reading him my latest manuscript, voices weaving stories into healing. It bonded us deeper, vulnerability the glue. You saved me twice, he joked one night, color returning to his cheeks. Crash and cough. Hero status revoked. I laughed, but truth hummed. We'd saved each other, hand sliding a heart, world steadying. Life settled in a vibrant routine. My graphic novel launched to quiet acclaim. Queer Tales illustrated with fire, sales funding a studio nook. Jordan thrived in PA school, nights poring over text while I sketched beside him, our dreams intertwining like roots. Yet, ripples from my past lapped at our shores. A letter from Tacoma. Dad's mill closing, pension slashed. Help if you can, Mom wrote, pride bruised. Jordan and I pooled funds, wired what we could, but it unearthed old guilts, my selfish Seattle escape. They're proud, Jordan soothed during a tense call home. But doubt festered, peaking at Christmas, flying back, snow dusting Tacoma's evergreens, family dinner laced with undercurrents. Uncle Raul, Dad's brother, cornered me by the tree. Heard about the wedding. Bold kid, but love like that, it breaks as much as it builds. His words, slurred with eggnog, echoed Dad's silences. That night, Jordan and I slipped out to the old pier, waves crashing like unresolved waves. Think we're too reckless? I asked, breath fogging. He turned me, hands cupping my face. Reckless is hiding. This, it's living. His kiss tasted of salt and certainty, pulling me back from the brink. Spring brought renewal, a positive test, not mine, but our decision to foster, starting with Kai's little brother, a scared 10-year-old named Theo, fresh from juvie after shoplifting to feed his addict mom. He needs stability, Jordan said, eyes alight. I nodded, heart swelling. Us, building family from fragments. Theo arrived wide-eyed, duffel clutched like armor. First weeks were chaos, nightmares jerking him awake, my ribs twinging from crash ghosts as I held him. Jordan's patience shone, bedtime stories of brave paramedics, hands steadying small shoulders. One night, Theo bolted, panic attack, sending him fleeing to the fire escape. I found him curled, sobbing. Not staying. You'll send me back. My own fears mirrored back, abandonment sting. Kneeling, I share my crash, the paramedic's hand that held me. Sometimes wrecks lead to homes. Jordan joined, trio huddled, tears mingling. From there, trust bloomed. Theo's drawings papering walls, our family etching deeper. But tension simmered external. A neighborhood watch meeting turned ugly. Whispers about that gay couple fostering. Slurs scrawled on our door, eggs splattered at dawn. Jordan's jaw clenched, fist balled. Fight or flee. Fight, I said, channeling his courage. We rallied the center, petitions circling, voices amplifying. Media picked it up, local news framing our story. Love defying hate, a family stand. Backlash stung, but support surged. Neighbors baking pies, Kai organizing a block party rainbow. Through it, our bond tempered steel strong. Anniversaries marked with quiet rituals, recreating that coffee date, hands rediscovering paths. Then, the call that shook anew, Jordan's mom, from Atlanta, post-stroke. Want to meet you, he said, voice cracking. A strange sense is coming out, her silence a wound. We flew south, humidity thick as regret, her frail form in the hospice bed a reckoning. She gripped his hand, eyes on me. Heard stories. Thank you for loving my boy. Forgiveness flowed, tears washing years. On the flight home, Jordan slept on my shoulder, peace settling. Back in Seattle, life pulsed. Theo's adoption papers signed. My second book deal, Jordan's graduation. At the ceremony, cap toss skyward. He pulled me on stage, kiss sealing triumphs. Years on, gray threading our hair, Theo off to college. Art major like us, we sat on that same rooftop, city evolved below. Shook my world, Jordan murmured, hand in mine. Mine too, I replied. The slide remembered, love's enduring quake. Yet, even in the glow of adoptions and accolades, shadows lingered, subtle at first, like fog off the sound creeping inland. Jordan's shifts grew erratic, his laughter rarer, eyes distant over dinner. Just tired, he'd say, brushing off my probes with a kiss that felt obligatory. I mirrored it back, burying worry in deadlines, Theo's soccer games, the rhythm of us masking the rift. It cracked open one stormy August night, thunder rattling windows as I waited up, cold takeout congealing. He stumbled in at 2, uniform rumpled, breath sharp with something not just exhaustion. "Rough call," he muttered, avoiding my gaze. "Rough how?" I pressed, hand on his arm. He flinched, subtle but there, and pulled away. "Lost a guy. Young. Like you were." His voice broke, and I reached again, but he shrugged. "Need space, Alex. Space." The word echoed the chasm I'd once feared, post-crash isolation. I nodded, throat tight, watching him retreat to the guest room, our bed suddenly vast. Days stretched taut. Polite breakfasts, Theo's chatter the bridge. I poured into work, illustrations darker, lovers fractured, hand withdrawing. Friends noticed, Maria's texts. "What's wrong, Hermanito?" Kai's coffee drop-ins, "Talk, or I'll draw it out of you." Jordan dove deeper into PA duties, volunteering extra at the center, mentoring with a fervor that screamed avoidance. Whispers reached me, colleagues gossiping about Hale's new shadow, a young intern, wide-eyed and adoring. Jealousy gnawed, irrational but insistent, fueling nightmares of hands sliding away, worlds unshaken. Confrontation brewed, inevitable, exploding after a center gala. Dressed sharp, we posed for photos, smiles strained, then danced, bodies remembering heat. But his eyes wandered to the intern across the room, lingering. In the cab home, I snapped. "Who's he?" Jordan sighed, weary. "Colleague. Nothing. Bullshit." Hurt spilled, accusations flying, my obsession with family mending blinding me to us fracturing, his martyr complex pushing me out. "You said forever, but now? Space? Feels like goodbye." He recoiled, pain flashing. "It's not God, Alex, it's me. The job. Seeing Rex daily, it hollows. And you, so strong now, publishing, parenting. What if I'm holding you back?" The admission gutted me. In the dim cab, rain streaking windows, I saw it. His fear mirrored to mine that rainy night. "You're my anchor," I whispered, hand finding his. "Not chain." Home, we stripped barriers, literal, emotional. In the living room, amid Theo's forgotten Legos, we talked till dawn. His PTSD flares from Afghanistan, unspoken till now. My lingering crash anxiety, panic attacks masked as deadlines. Tears cleansed, truths bared. The intern a distraction, not desire, his heart mind still. Making up was fierce, reclaiming, bodies urgent, hands mapping scars, sliding deliberate to remind. This world ours. Dawn found us tangled, vows renewed in sweat-slicked whispers. Healing demanded work. Therapy sessions, joint, Jordan unpacking war ghosts, me unraveling family knots. Theo caught on, wise beyond years. "You guys fighting?" he'd ask, crayon in fist. We'd pull him close. "Just fixing the house, buddy." Stronger beams. Fall leaves turned, and with them, shifts. Jordan scaling back shifts, me carving couple time, hikes in Discovery Park, sketches of us intertwined. The center benefited too. A new program, Rec to Renewal, sharing our stories, hands-on workshops for queer youth navigating crises. But life script twists. Mom's cancer diagnosis, stage 3, Tacoma calling. We packed, Theo in tow, Jordan's hand steady on the wheel. Hospital vigils blurred. Mom frail but fierce, rosary clicking softer now. "Proud of you both," she rasped, eyes on our linked hands. Her passing winter sharp, snow blanketing graveside. Eulogy fell to me, voice steady. She taught love's quiet revolutions. Hands extended, worlds mended. Jordan's arm around me, Theo's small hand in mine, family redefined. Grief hollowed, but seeded growth. Spring, we scattered ashes at the pier. Waves claiming her, peace settling. Back home, Jordan proposed expanding. Another kid? Sibling for Theo. Heartful, I agreed. Fostering twins followed. Sisters, 6 wary from the system. Chaos doubled, joy amplified. Jordan's bedtime tales now, for 3, my illustrations featuring fierce families. Anniversary marked with a vow renewal. Beachside, barefoot, waves lapping, Theo ring bear grinning. "Shook my world again," Jordan murmured, sliding the band home. "And still," I replied, kiss sealing eternities. Yet in quiet moments, I marveled from that ambulance touch, a universe born, dramatic, tender, human in its flaws. Love, I learned, isn't stillness, it's the shake, the slide, the bold rebuild. Summer sweltered that year, Seattle's rare heat wave, turning our flat into a sauna. The twins' giggles a soundtrack to sweat-slick survival. Jordan and I tag-teamed, him wrangling bedtime battles, me mediating squabbles over sidewalk chalk masterpieces. Theo, now 13, rolled eyes at our old people exhaustion, but his hugs lingered longer, sensing the glue we poured daily. Work flourished amid the whirl. My third book, a memoir graphic hybrid titled Shaken Worlds, hit shelves with buzz, podcasts inviting us, Queer Lit Fest clamoring. Jordan co-authored snippets, his paramedic insights grounding the grit. Signings became family affairs, kids beaming as fans gushed, inspiring. But fame's underbelly nipped, trolls online, slinging vitriol at our agenda family. One night, post-reading, an email barrage, threats veiled, photos of our home. Jordan's face paled. Police. I nodded, heart thudding. Report filed, security cams installed, but sleep evaded, shadows lengthening. Remember the eggs? I joked weakly. You pull me close. Worse now, but we fight smarter. Community rallied. Center lawyers pro bono, neighbors patrols. Kai, thriving artist, muraled our fence. Intertwined hands defying storms. Strength surged, but cracks showed. Jordan's nightmares spiking, mine manifesting in sketches, dark figures lurking. Crisis peaked autumnal. A brick through our window, glass shattering like trust. Kids huddled terrified, sirens wailing anew. In the aftermath, Jordan paced, fury coiled. Can't risk them. Maybe we. No moving, I cut, fierce. This is home. Therapy unpacked it. Fears paralysis, our shared armor thinning. We're not victims, he agreed, voice stealing. Survivors. Resolution brewed communal. A town hall, us speaking. Voices amplified, stories shared. Council pledged protections, headlines shifting narrative. Healing followed, tentative, playdates resuming, laughter reclaiming space. Winter whispered change. Jordan's clinic offered, downtown, flexible hours for family. Accepted, balance tipped sweeter. I'm mentored at the center, graphic workshops for fosters, hands guiding pencils to truths. Theo's coming out, quiet, over pancakes. Like you guys. Eyes wide, we enveloped him. Exactly. And loved fiercer. Jordan's hug, my nod, legacy passed, unbroken. Twins turned 8, birthday, bash chaotic, piñata swinging, cake smeared. Amid mess, Jordan caught my eye, wink promising later. Night fell, kids abed, we slipped to the roof, city sprawl below. Shaken, still standing, he toasted with wine. Slid right. I clinked, kiss deepening, hands rediscovering fire. Spring bloomed, adoption final. Sisters hours, papers signed in tears. Courtroom joy spilled streetside, ice cream cones melting like worries. But life's drama scripted onward. My father's heart scare, Tacoma pulling. Drive south, Jordan driving, kids back seat chattering. Hospital wait, dad pale, but pugnacious. Tough old bird, he grunted post-surgery, gripping my hand. Like your stories. Rehab, visits, wove tighter. Jordan's medical know-how a boon. Kids' drawings bedside cheer. Dad softened, tails tumbling. His own youth crushes, unspoken in macho mills. Hid too, Mijo. Glad you didn't. Homeward, bonds fortified, grief's edges smoothed. Summer again, family camping, Olympics wilds, tents pitched lakeside. Bonfire crackled, Esmores sticky, stories circling. Theo strummed guitar, twins dance firelit. Jordan's arm around me, whisper warm, our world, whole. Nodding, I traced his palm, scar from that fire call, reminder of saves. Love, I'm used, is paramedic grace, assessing, stabilizing, igniting anew. Fall brought Theo's first crush, boy from school, awkward texts. We coached, BU, hearts swelling at his blush. Holidays hummed, extended family fusion, tamales and collards, rainbow ornaments twinkling. Uncle Raoul, sober now, toasting us, broke the cycle. New Year's Eve, rooftop again, fireworks bursting, kids' cheers. Jordan pulled me aside, eyes serious. Another chapter? Baby. Surprise bloomed, surrogacy talks, dreams expanding. Yes, breathless, kiss fireworks of our own. Winter wove wonders. Positive match, pregnancy journey shared. Ultrasounds awe kicks, thrilled tiny hands. Birth spring, son, wailing fierce, name Mateo, gift. Hospital room overflowed, family crowding, Jordan's tears first hold. Nights blurred feeds and folds, exhaustion bonding deeper. Shook us good. Jordan yawned, babe between. Best wreck, I smiled, hands linking over miracle. Years cascaded. Mateo toddling, twins schooling, Theo dating sweet. Books piled, Jordan's practice thriving, center's reach growing. Anniversaries layered. 10th, beach vow, waves witnesses. Still, he teased. Never, I laughed, hand sliding low, world quaking eternal. In quiet, I reflect. That paramedic's command, touch transformative, drama's hook to humanity's heart. Love, tense, tender, triumphantly ours. Decades mark past in a whirlwind of milestones. Mateo's first steps chasing Theo's skateboard. The twins' synchronized swim ribbons glinting like pride flags. Our home, once cramped sanctuary, expanded. A backyard studio where I inked tales of tangled families. Jordan's clinic annex buzzing with patients finding their footing. Life's kilter felt earned, hard won from that rain-slicked rupture. But entropy whispers, unbidden. Jordan's clinic merger loomed. Corporate suits, eyeing cuts. More admin, less healing. He griped over dinner, fork stabbing greens. I nodded, masking my own storm. A publisher's rejection, my fourth book deemed too queer, not commercial. Words I bled for dismissed. Nights we vented, his rants on profit over people, my spirals on silence voices. Fight it, I urged, hand on his knee. He squeezed, but shadows clung, distance creeping like ivy. Catalyst crashed autumn. Clinic layoffs hit, Jordan's mentor axed, whispers of his turn next. Fury ignited, protests picketed, us marching with staff, signs aloft, hands that heal, not bill. Media swarmed, our story, gay dads, foster to family pioneers, fueling fire. Backlash bit, online harpies, perverted activists ruining healthcare. Homefront strained, kids absorbing tension, Mateo's tantrums mirroring ours. One night, post-rally horse, Jordan snapped at Theo's homework plea. Not now, door slam echoed. I followed, heart leaden. Bedroom confrontation. We're unraveling. His slump, defeat raw. What if I can't provide? Like my dad, couldn't for me. Vulnerability cracked floodgates, his Atlanta ghosts, poverty's bite, army escape, now echoing in insecurity. I held him, confessions spilling. My rejection fear, imposter and success. You're enough, I whispered. We are. Dawn brood plan. Jordan job hunting, indie clinic pitch, me queering agents, unapologetic queer core. Therapy tandem resumed. Unpacking privileges, blind spots. Our white-collar climb, distancing roots. Winter warmed with winds. Jordan's hire at a community health, queer-focused, flexible for family. My book, self-pubbed, crowd-funded by fans, sales soared, authenticity's anthem. Holidays healed, Tacoma gathering, dad's tales now, including Jordan's clinic war stories. Laughter rang, collards mingling moles. Spring seeded adventure. Family road trip, Route 101 coastal crawl. Redwoods whispering ancients, kids beachcombing agates. Campfire confessions, Theo's college apps, anxious, twin school play dreams. Jordan and I, stargazing, hands laced. Shaken paths lead here, he murmured. Summer spotlighted Theo's prom. Suit sharp, date nervous, our porch send-off teary. Be safe, be you, Jordan hugged. Midnight return, grin splitting, kissed. Felt right. Pride swelled, our floats center-led, kids waving rainbows. Backstage, Jordan pulled me to alley shadows, kiss hungry. Proud of us. Fall-focused fosters anew. Teen girl, Riley, 16, runaway trans, scars etched deep. Placement tentative, trust threadbare. Nights, her walls up, snaps at Mateo, silence is thick. Jordan's patience paramedic precise, check-ins gentle, no pressure. I sketched her stories unspoken, comics shared tentative. Breakthrough, late-night kitchen raid, cookies crumbling, tails tumbling, dead name dread, street survival. We see you, I said, hand offered, hers clasped, trembling. Group therapy woven, center ties binding. But Riley's bio mom surfaced, custody claw, courts cold. Battle ensued. Lawyers, hearings, our family testified. Love's evidence. Judge ruled stay, tears courtroom catharsis. Winter wrapped Riley's adoption. 17 now, cake candles flickering family. Belong, she whispered, hug fierce. New year nudged Jordan's milestone. Clinic expansion, him director. Toast raised, hands healing hordes. My fifth book launched. Riley's arc fictionalized, consent key, bestseller badge, tours family toured. Anniversaries anchored. 15th, Paris whim, Eiffel glow, crepe sweet, kids museum ad. Saint stroll, Jordan's vow refresh, world shaker still. Kiss bridged eras, hands home. Yet elder echoes. Dad's decline, Parkinson's creeping. Visits ritual, Tacoma drives, stories slowing. Regret nothing, he rasped, eyes on grandkids. His passing gentle, spring soft. Funeral fused, mill mates, queer kin, eulogies blending. Built bridges, I spoke, Jordan's grip grounding. Grief garden growth, memorial fund, scholarships, queer youth. Summer, we hiked his favorite trail, ashes scattered windswept. Fall fostered forward, Riley college bound, art major, twins high school stars. Theo engaged, partner kind. Mateo 5, queried, daddy's story? Jordan knelt. Once a paramedic said stay still. Laughter linked, legacy lived. In reflections that slides, seismic. Dramas forge, romances flame, humanity's hymn. Love, not endpoint but endless quake, bold, beautiful, ours eternally. Twilight years tiptoed, silver threading our temples, lines etching laugh maps on skin. The kids scattered, Theo married in a vineyard vow, Riley's gallery opening Parisian chic, Twins tandem teaching abroad. Mateo med student mirroring Jordan. Empty nest echoed at first. Our flat too quiet. Ghosts of crayon walls. But reinvention beckoned. Jordan retired partial. Consulting crisis response. I toured lit circuits. Memoir sequels mining maturities. Travels tempted. Japan's cherry blossoms. Italy's vines. Hands clasped continents crossing. Home anchored. Centerboard seats. Grandkids visits chaotic joy. First, Theo's daughter, Lila. Toddler tornado. Arabola rolls. Maria's title pass. Gleeful. Challenges crept. Jordan's knee. Crash echoes surgery. My vision blurring. Glasses grousing. Petty spats sparked. Forgotten anniversaries. Remote wars. But fizzled fast. Apologies intimate. Crisis crested unexpected. Pandemic wave. 2030 shadow. Clinic calls yanked Jordan back. Masks muffling smiles. I volunteered virtual story hours for isolated youth. Screens bridging breaches. Lockdown tested. Cabin fever clashed. Old insecurities surfacing. Too old for this, he muttered one Zoom off night. Isolation gnawing. I pulled him a couch. Wine poured. Age is just another wreck. We rebuilt. Talks turned tender. Fears of fading. Legacies left. Shook enough, he teased, hand tracing collarbone. Never enough, I replied, Slide reigniting, bodies defiant. Wave waned, vaccines victorious, but scars lingered. Lost center friends, Theo's job furlough. We rallied, fundraisers virtual, family Zooms fortifying. Summer post-plague pulsed rebirth. Beach reunion, grandkids sandcastling, Lila's abuelo, squeals heart melts. Bonfire, Jordan's tale retold. Paramedic hook, our epic. Fall-focused legacy. Center wing named Rivera Hale, hands-on haven. Dedication teary, speeches soaring. From one touch, tides turned. Winter whispered worries. My heart murmur, docs monitor. Jordan's vigil, role reversed, his hands now assessing mine. Stay still, he echoed, grin wry. Surgery succeeded, recovery is watch. Broths, bad jokes, loves labor. My turn to shake, he quipped post-op kiss. Spring sprouted silver linings. Memoir finale penned, slides eternal, reflections raw. Publisher parade, launch family filled. Anniversaries gilded. 25th, cruise Caribbean, waves rocking, stars witnesses. Deck dance, slow sway, world intact. Shaken perfect, I murmured, hand low, eternal spark. Grandkids grew. Lila's queer queries, general guides we. Mateo's residency, clinic rotations under Jordan, cycle circling. Yet, frailties face, Jordan's tremor, Parkinson's candidates. Diagnosis dawned dim, treatments trialed. I steadied, sketches softening his silhouette, strength stylized. Days dance determined. Park benches, handholds habitual. Regrets, he asked one autumn leaf fall. None. You, only not sooner. Kiss crinkled eyes, time's gift. Winter wove warnings, fall, hip fracture. Hospital haunt, irony intimate. Our roles reversed his bed, my vigil. Stay still. I commanded hand sliding comfort. Recovery rehabbed resolve. Walks aided, talks deepened. Center visits, youth inspired. Your story saved mine. Spring bloomed books. My finale lauded, Jordan's co-memoir, hands that hold. Joint signings, fans fervent. Summer solstice, family fused. Barbecue bountiful, grandkids grilling. Toast raised, to shakes and slides. Fall faded gentle, Jordan's decline, grace gripped. Hospice home, hands last linked. Love you breath soft. Always, I whispered, world quaking final. His passing petal soft, dawn light gilding. Grief grand, but gratitude greater. Funeral fusion, eulogies echoing, shook us all. Seasons cycled, solo sketches, center solace. Kids circle close, grandkids hugs healing. 1 year on, anniversary alone, rooftop reminisce, wine with 2 glasses. Shook my world, I toasted stars, hand on heart. Legacy lived, scholarship seated, story sustaining. In quiet I know, that paramedic's touch, drama's divine, romance resilient, humanity's hallowed end. Meaning? Love endures, not in stillness, but seismic slides, bold birth from broken, worlds forever woven. Epilogue's ink flows reflective, years post Jordan's quiet exit, my canvas broader, lines looser, colors kinder. The flat, once duet's domain, now gallery. Photos framed, crash site clips salvaged, ambulance glow, wedding rooftop smiles sun-kissed, kids collages, chaos captured. I wander rooms, ghost genial, his cologne faint on pillows fluffed fresh. Morning's ritual, coffee black, journal jot, dreams dialogued, his voice vivid. Stay still. I chide phantom self, hand to chest, pulse proving presence. Kids anchor, Theo's firm, partner promoted. Riley's exhibits, global glow. Twins tenured tandem, Mateo matched clinic chief. Grandkids galaxy, Lila's law school letters, queer crusader, others orbiting, visits vibrant. Center calls constant. Advisory elder, story slams hosted. Youth huddle, eyes eager. How'd you know? Tails tumble. Rainy wreck, hands hush. World whirl. Listen to touches, I advise they translate truths. Travels temp solo. Atlanta roots, Jordan's boyhood haunts. Peach orchards, church steeples. Mom's grave tended. Forgiven. I whisper winds, peace palpable. Takol Matisse Tichten, Mil Museum Docent, Das Legacy Lecture. Maria's mirror, He'd Beam Ejo. Books Bridge, final volume, Quakes and Quiets, Jordan's chapters cherished. Launches legacy, fans' faces, futures forged. Health holds, murmur managed, steps sure with cane carved kids. Falls fewer, rises resolute. Anniversaries altered, annual aloha, Hawaiian hearth, his favorite isle. Shoreline saunters, shells collected, stories sea-sung. One eve, sunset scarlet, wave whispers his, shook enough? Smiling skyward, hand waves white, eternal. Winter warms willed, holiday hub, house heaving, tables groaning, tunes timeless. Toasts tangle, to paramedics and promises. Spring spark sprouts, great grand glimmers, Theo's spark. Nursery nested, names negotiated, Jordan echoed. Summer solstice, center gala, award accepted, his suit donned. Stage spotlight, speech soaring, love's not linear, it's seismic, sliding souls to synergy. From stay still to stay with, he taught, shake boldly, love deeply. Applause cascades, tears tributary. False foliage fades, my frame frilier, bed beckons more, books bedside. Kids confer time, nodding no rush, stories first. Hospice hums homey, monitors murmur, hands hold. Mateo's medical, Lila's legal. Tales trickle, crash crescendo, touch transcendent. Breath shallows, but heart hammers him, world well shaken. Final slide, vision veils, voices velvet. Jordan's near, hand phantom firm, ready, always exhale easy. Legacy lingers, lives lit, loves liberated. That paramedic's plea, drama distilled, gay, gallant, grace given. Ending? Not cessation, but culmination. Humanity's hug, romance's ripple, eternal. In every queer heart quaking, we endure, hands extended, world's holy one.